For most of my life, I thought I was a werewolf. My earliest memories are of snuggling with my wolf family, running and playing with them in the forest, and howling together at night. I remember eating out of a bowl on the floor. But then, so did my friend Boris, and he's mostly human. Recently, I thought I might be a Vascor. The Vascor are terrifying creatures with horns and sharp claws, but they use a glamour to appear human. My Vascor friend Sarah had called me family. Maybe I've been walking around disguised all this time, I thought. My impressive monster form hidden beneath a runty human disguise. Nope. I was 100% human. It was a disappointment. And then I'd learned I was the missing prince of Anderot. A prince with a ridiculously long name that I couldn't even remember. The prince's family had been killed in a military coup, and the country had been split up by the generals who'd led the uprising. I'd spent my life dreaming of finding my family, only to discover that they were dead, my country gone. There was proof. I'd shown up at Dr. Critchlore's school wearing the Anderodian royal attire and medallion. And at 4 years old, I looked just like the prince in the family portrait. Never mind that I didn't have any princely memories, and I wondered how many princes remember eating from a bowl on the floor. Still, it was all I had to go on, and I needed that clue because I was cursed to die on my 16th birthday. I had thick red bands around both wrists, which had shown up after I'd left Stull. Mistress Moira called the marks a tethering curse to make sure I didn't go outside the range of the death curse. So, really, I was twice cursed, and I had no idea why. Learning I was a prince was the first clue I had toward figuring that out. You can see how all this could get a guy down. But wait, there's more. I'd also lost my best friend Syke, who left the school after finding out that Dr. Critchlore had killed her mother. Syke's mother was a hamadryad, and Dr. Critchlore had burned down the forest where she'd lived to make room for a boulder ball field. We'd always believed that he had saved Syke from a fire when she was a baby. What we didn't know was that he was the one who'd started the fire. Syke had grown up as Dr. Critchlore's ward, but now she hated him. She hated me, too, for not telling her when I found out the truth, and also because I'd defended Dr. Critchlore. But I knew there had to be another reason for why he'd done it. The story just didn't add up. Before leaving, Syke had gotten some revenge by using her tornado in a can to sabotage Dr. Critchlore's office. She'd done some other stuff too, and now, according to Dean Everest, Syke was persona non grata at our school. That meant they didn't want her to come back. She was currently living at the Great Library, next to a forest filled with hamadryads who had known her mother. She took classes at the Kobold Retraining Center, which was kind of ridiculous because she wasn't a kobold. I had seen her once in the 3 months she'd been gone, and her anger hadn't faded one bit. She didn't want to come back. It had been a depressing winter for me. After my test, I snuck into the kitchen, plopped myself down at Cook's table in the corner, and hunched over my dinner tray, which was piled high with food. I was starving. Cook leaned against the table, ladle in hand. She tucked a stray hair back under her hairnet and sighed. "Runt, you've always been the happiest kid I've known," she said as I stuffed my face with dinner rolls. She grabbed the last one out of my hand and pointed to my stew. "I keep thinking things like, I can't wait for third period so I can hang out with Syke and complain about Professor Murphy, who hates me, by the way." I picked up a spoon and attacked the stew like I was in an eating competition. "He doesn't hate you," Cook said. "Yes, he does," I said with a full mouth. Cook shook her head, so I finished chewing before adding, "He's had it in for me ever since Dr. Critchlore selected me as a junior henchman trainee, and then put me back in the program after Professor Murphy kicked me out. Twice." "Kids always think teachers have it in for them. Teachers aren't like that." "Since when?" I wanted to say, but instead I lifted the bowl to my face to finish off my stew. Then I turned to the pasta, mounted high on its own plate.